The FA Cup is back on ITV. After a decade away, the same magic will return. And will it be Chelsea that reclaim the trophy? In Europe this season, Newcastle United have certainly been one to watch.
It's a goal for Australia! Can you believe that? In the very last minute!
As for Everton, they're having a season to forget, currently sitting bottom of the Premiership. But is Goodison Park ready for their revival? Could the FA Cup deliver its magic? We've got the entire game coming up for you this afternoon. It is Everton versus Newcastle United here on The Big Match live. Good afternoon. The Big Match is back. It's about time, isn't it? Welcome here to Goodison Park. We've got live and exclusive coverage here this afternoon of the FA Cup third round game, and what a third round game we have in store. Alongside me today is former England manager and FA Cup finalist. Heartbreaking times, wasn't that, Trevor, all those years ago? I'd love to know your thoughts on today's game. How do you see this playing out today? Well, I kind of think one of the things that we've got about today's game, and I think this is worth pointing out, is the FA Cup is a chance for your form to completely reset. So if you're struggling, it doesn't matter today. It's a fresh page. League form goes out the window. And look at this Everton squad, and they've got a really potential to play a lot better than they have. And I think it's just made for an excellent game. I do have to say, I do fancy Kenny Dalglish. He's got a great affinity with this competition. If he can get this Newcastle United side playing well, he could eventually get them towards being challengers. Well, they've said they're dark horses. Trevor, do you see that today? I mean, is this the biggest test? Is this the biggest third round game, potentially? Based on where the two sides have the potential to play, I think we've got a great game ahead of us. Well, both sets of players are in the tunnel, so put your feet up and I hope you can enjoy this one. It is Everton versus Newcastle United, and your match commentator for this one is Trevor Moore.
Thank you, Trevor. Good afternoon, everybody from Goodison Park, as the FA Cup returns to ITV after a 10-year gap, and what a game to come back to. A repeat of the quarterfinals of '95, and Everton went on to win the trophies. There's an omen for them this year. Well, they've got Newcastle in the third round, and of course, plenty of optimism for Newcastle, who've really struggled in the first half of the season, but got their season on track with a terrific victory at St James's against Arsenal. But Everton bottom at Christmas really need a pick-me-up after a dreadful December and a dreadful first half of the season. They go with Duncan Ferguson and Michael Branch up front, and you look at that midfield and you think, why a midfield with that quality are struggling at the bottom end of the table? And Paul Gerrard, in fact, is preferred to Neville Southall in goals. As for Newcastle United, it's John Barnes, the former Liverpool man, and John Taylor Thomason up front. And of course, Ian Rush on the bench. But I'm also told, and it's a really strong Newcastle team, I'm told that Alan Shearer is about a week away from a full recovery. He has been training with the side and is almost fit to return later on this month. Our referee today is Martin Bodnam from Lewin Cornwall, and we're all set to get underway. Everton rather in the all-blue shirts, Newcastle of course in their famous black and white stripes, and Everton in this first half, in fact, attacking the Gladys Street end in the first half. They usually like to attack that in the second, but obviously Newcastle won the coin toss for ends, and it's they who defend the Gladys Street in the first half, and an early header there from Duncan Ferguson, 6'7" of him. And needs a save there for Shay Given. This is Warren Barton, formerly of Wimbledon, of course. David Batty. John Barnes. We'd love to put one on his old rivals today. And there's Stuart Pearce, the little dummy there by Batty into the path of Pearce. Signed, of course, this summer just gone from Nottingham Forest. And Barnby as well, trying to stick gloves to Pearce. Gillespie back to Pearce. Also linking well on the far side, I must say. The shot coming in, and Paul Gerrard having to get that one away. And they're not very far, and Davides now picks it up, and Thomason and Barnes is in there. Barnes with a shot, good save by Gerrard, it's a corner. And Kenny Dalglish's latest side really starting well. They had a slow start to the season in the league. Of course, they've had to adapt with the Champions League as well. But they're out of that, and since they've got out of that one, in a heartbreaking fashion. League form has really picked up, and most notably a big victory at St James's over the Christmas and New Year against Arsenal. But the form is gone. They've already got a corner. Barnes is in there. Good save by Gerrard. Can't hold on to it, and then the ball's knocked away up towards Big Duncan Ferguson. And Ferguson gets a second bite up the cherry. Well, Howard Kendall has said that this is the worst crisis for Everton since he was here in '82 when he took over the club from Gordon Lee. Tell you what, it's an even bigger crisis. This is his first spell in charge of Everton. Of course, he won everything in his first spell here. Came back in the early 90s and has taken over from Joe Roll this season, but it hasn't brought around returning fortunes. Well, it happened today, but it's Newcastle on top here. Tomorrow gets fire. Now Batty playing it in there, and a header, and over the top from Thomason for a goal kick. I have to say Newcastle have really made a tremendous start to this game. There's the ball in, and a free header, and over the top of Gerrard's crossbar. In fact, it was David Batty with the header, not Thomason as I thought it was. We are quite high up in the Bullens Road end here at Goodison, so for my age in eyes, it's very difficult. Put the glasses on now. Here's Stuart Pearce. We know what he's all about. Good ball forward again. This is Keith Gillespie. Newcastle in the opening 10 minutes this afternoon looking in Pearce form. Pearce, Lee, Thomason on the turn perhaps. Barnes with a shot. He's had 3 of those already, and Gerrard has saved on all 3 occasions and has kept Everton in it. And you look at the quality of that Everton side on paper, and they are definitely a top 10 team. They're definitely walking into any top 10 Premiership team. They just can't seem, Howard Kendall just can't seem to get them firing, and I don't understand why. I mean, Howard is a very good manager. Maybe he's lost his spark somewhere on the line. I'm not sure, but they're right under the cosh here, and Everton really allowing Newcastle to dictate the play. And here's tomorrow kicks fire here in this cup tie. Batty, let's fire again. Now, will he have a run at speed perhaps? That's Rowan Walton. Can he get the ball in there? Thomason's waiting in intent. Headed away by Big Dave Watson. A staunch Evertonian is set to see his team right down at the bottom. And a header coming in and a goal! And it's Thomason who's got it. And Newcastle, with 14 minutes gone, are in the lead. John Dale Thomason, the scorer. A great whipping header and a towering header by the tall Danish striker. And Newcastle take the lead at Goodison Park, and the Everton fans hold their head in their hands once again. Not for the first time this season, but they've been asking for it from the word go. They've allowed Newcastle to come at them, and in the end, a lovely little cross from Keith Gillespie, who's been a real shining light in their season so far, and a good header. And Gerrard has made 3 super saves, but up until then, couldn't stop that one. And with 14 minutes gone, Thomason has put Newcastle into the lead. And you can't say they haven't deserved it, because they have. Now Barmby, formerly at Tottenham, now John Austin through the academy here at Goodison Park, or the youth system rather, playing it in there towards Big Duncan Ferguson. Now what can Everton do about it now? Kieran Dalglish will be delighted with the start that his team have made in the first 15 minutes of this FA Cup tie. Howard Kendall is fuming. I can tell you on that far side, he's fuming. Here's Gillespie, Thomason, Lee. Newcastle just looks so confident. Of course, with the confidence that Alan Shearer is now almost fully fit to return, it can only bode well for their season if they can get through today. And they've certainly got a great opportunity of winning silverware for the first time since 1969 when they won the first cup. In point of fact, they've not won the FA Cup since 1955. Here's Thomason trying to get the ball forward again, and here's Pearce. Last time they won the cup, Jackie Milburn was the main man up front. Here's Barnes, who's certainly Newcastle's main man at the moment, with almost 20 minutes gone. Lee, Striking one, hit Dave Watson, comes away. Now then, Ferguson, can he get Everton up the field? They've been right on the back foot from the word go here, the blue half of Merseyside. Austin now to bring it away, but he's gone backwards, and it really illustrates how bad Everton have been. And they've given away cheap possession to Newcastle. It's just so disjointed, this Everton performance. It's the first time I've seen him live this season, Everton, as Gerrard takes the ball in there, and he's probably been their best player in the goalkeeper. So disjointed. Ferguson's not getting much help up front, and it's easy for people like Pearce and Howie and David Est and others to nullify this Everton threat, which has been non-existent. Well, Kendall is scratching his head to see what's going on. Gets fire now for Newcastle, who are just miles ahead in this game. If it was a boxing match, it would have been stopped by now on points. The way they're going about it. Gets player, goes really well. Batty. Barnes to Batty. Have a go, the former Leeds man. No. Plays it to Kispire, playing it in there. And Lee was lurking. Here is Rob Lee. Here's Barnes. Warren Barton coming up on the far side. That's a nice intelligent ball. If he can pick up Gillespie, he can, and that was a good ball actually. Bit behind Robert Lee though. In the event that Everton do rally back and get a draw out of this game, if it does end a draw, that's out for an Everton ball. If it does end a draw, we will go for a replay at St James's Park a week on Wednesday if it does end a draw. No extra time today, no penalties today. The FA Cup, we still have the replays. You'll be able to see highlights of all. You'll be able to see action of all the replays this season in our FA Cup coverage, as well as the live ties that we've got for you on the Sunday after. All matches will be playing on Sunday afternoons, apart from the final, of course, which is on a Saturday. Twin Towers, and all the matches that we cover live on ITV all the way through to the semi-finals will be on a Sunday afternoon for you. There's kick-off times. As I say, we'll have the midweek replays for you too. All part of the service that ITV Sport provides the FA Cup during this season. Here's David Batty. Aspire now. Played in there, but speed now to win it. The former Leeds title winner, Michael Branch. Need to just get a little bit of grip on the game now with half an hour gone. They just look all over the place, devoid of any ideas and any confidence at any rate. And here's Thomason now. This could be 2-0. Good save there. Thomason with a brilliant snapshot. He was sliding in as well. Just made the save from Gerrard a little awkward. And Everton now trying to get a bit of possession, but they keep giving the ball away. It's so much deep in their own territory. It's unreal. The ball played in there towards Batty. Knocked away once more. Newcastle just laying siege to that Everton goal mouth at the moment. And Everton with no answers. And that's going to be a free kick, says Mr. Bodnam. And he allows it to be taken quickly to Warren Barton. Newcastle not wasting any time. Ball deflects high up in the air. And now Michael Branch to get it away. Now Nicky Barmby. He's reached the semi-final before. Man born in Hull. Gets it forward and then it comes back to Pearce again. And he's coming back at Everton once more with Harry, with Lee, with Gillespie. That's a terrific challenge, or so we thought there by John Austin, but the referee Martin Bodnam has given a yellow card. And I do not understand why. Martin Bodnam is in no doubt. Duncan Ferguson is seething. Now look at that. That's a terrific challenge. And Martin Bodnam, in his infinite wisdom, showed fit to show John Yalster a yellow card, which, in my opinion, is senseless refereeing. And it means now Austin's got to walk a tightrope for the rest of the game. As Pearce sends in the left-footed free kick. Gillespie with a shot, and an easy one this time for Paul Gerrard in the Everton goal. Tough act to follow, replacing the legend that was Big Neville Southall, of course. But this is the opportunity. This is the problems Everton find themselves in. This is Oster. Ferguson to Barmby. Can Everton rally now inside this last 10 minutes of the first half with Nicky Barmby trying to play the ball through the eye of the needle into Duncan Ferguson, who goes down now. That's better from Everton. They've got a free kick right on the edge. Now what's Mr. Bodman going to do here? Yellow card for Keith Gillespie. Pierce argues his case, but I think that's a fair decision. Yeah, got none of the ball, plenty of the man. That's a yellow card. Now then, Barmby or Speed. It's going to be Barmby, left foot, and against the crossbar with Kieran completely helpless. And Everton just having none of the luck. Here's Terry Phelan. Playing it in there. The man they got from Manchester City. Oh, poor Nicky Barmby. That was a tremendous free kick. Did everything right, and he hit the underside of the bar and bounced the wrong side of the line. Well, when you're down at the bottom and you're not getting the results, even in a cup game like this, Everton just don't seem to have any of the luck or any of the rubber to green. It just seems to be everything's going against our Kendall there. Like to all the world that Everton have got a little bit of happiness out of something there. They have been poor for the first 42 minutes. Let's be serious about that. But well, they were a bit unfortunate there. Referee playing on. There was a foul, but he won't pull the ball back now. Everton have took the advantage and they've wasted it. And this is Robert Lee now, a minute or two away from the half-time whistle here at Goodison Park, and Everton will feel fortunate in a way to be at 1-0 down, but they could have so easily been in at 1-1. That's the crazy nature of cup-tie football, I suppose. Everton, if they stay in this at 1-0, they'll count their blessings, and now Kendall will need to have the mother of all half-time team talks to try and turn this one around. They know what's did from Nicky Barmby. Now then, Gillespie to Pierce, who's taken a bit more of a central position now. And Oster having to face Gillespie again. Oster can't afford to bring him down, otherwise it's a red card. Oster did really well, but there goes the half-time whistle. John Dale Thomason with the goal. Early doors for Newcastle. Everton were all over the place for the first 40 minutes. Then right at the end of the first half, Nicky Barmby with a super right-footed free kick. Hit the underside of the bar and it went out. And that's the problem when you're down at the bottom and struggling in the cup. Half-time then in the cup. Everton 0, Newcastle 1, and we'll be back with the second half right after this break.
Well, welcome back here to Goodison Park. Half-time, and it's Everton 0, Newcastle United 1, and it's been a really tight game at the moment so far. Trevor's been watching it with us as well. Trevor, I'd love to get your views at the moment. Trev, what do you make of that half? Well, I have to think it's honours evening really. It's just one little bit of bad defending is what Newcastle United have got through when they've allowed Thomason to find the space. But Everton look threatening when they go forward, and they've grown into the game. So it really is very finely poised at the moment in terms of this match of who takes it. Well, let's have a look at some of those highlights from the first half. We'll start off with the big moment, and it was this early chance. Yeah, it's actually a really good save from Gerrard. I think Barnes, you know what he's like on that left foot. He's just trying to really sort of whip it right into the corner. And then the chance from the corner again, another good save. Yeah, very good again. But again, this was just the brilliant start that Newcastle United made, and it was compounded really by the goal. Well, here is the goal. You were quite pleased with it, weren't you? Well, yeah, I suppose what I was impressed most, I mean, that shot there, that's not going to worry Gerrard, is it? But what I was impressed most was the build-up play. That's what I really like. This is a really, really good pass, but this is a fantastic cross. And one of the things that's great about it, it's early, it's with real whip, it's right into a dangerous area. Bilic and Watson can get nowhere near this, and it's just inviting, you know, Thompson, go on, head me. He gets his header down. It's just so well poised. It's really, really good. And it was Newcastle United that were creating all the early moments and all the early chances, really, weren't they? Yeah, and you know, Everton, you know, they didn't take the advice really in terms of their league form, and I think Paul Gerrard in goal has had a quite brilliant game so far. He's saved just about everything at the moment. And in a moment where Everton very nearly got back into it, yeah, I do think it's a free kick. It's a really good free kick. This right on the underside of the bar. Shea Given beaten. I don't think Nicky Barmby could hit a ball better than that. And he's just so unlucky with the way it bounces. And then Newcastle United continue to make the chances, really, but more good defending, sort of holding them off. Yeah, and I think that's one of the factors of the match, really. That's just sort of how it's worked out. Well, there we go, half-time. It's been a lot of Newcastle. Everton have grown into it. It's only 1-0. There's a lot more football to go. Reminder here today that this match will end at the 90th minute mark. If it is level, then we will go to a replay, which will be sanctioned at a later date. After the break, we will have all of the second half for you here on the Big Match Live.
Welcome back to the big match with me, Trevor Moore, I should say. 1-0 it is to Newcastle. John Dale Thomas in the scorer. Trevor Moore, that is. It's a throw for Everton. John Dale Thomas in the scorer when he does, and then Barmby ran at the end of the first half for Everton with their best opportunity against the crossbar. And, when you're down at the wrong end of the table and you can't buy a win in any competition, even the FA Cup at the moment, Everton just don't seem to have any luck. But yet again, they've brought a lot of it on themselves, and that's a sad thing for me to say, because Everton are a great old club with great traditions. I figure that championship winning side under Harry Catterick in the early 70s with Paul, Harvey and Kendall, as my old friend Trevor Wellesby used to say, the Holy Trinity. And he's an Everton fan of many years standing. Trevor Wellesby, of course, one of our old colleagues at ITV. Still does a lot of work for us and up in these parts. He's a big Evertonian. And I got to speak to him the other day, and he says how disappointing this season has been. It's the worst stuff. In fact, according to Wellesby, Trevor Wellesby, in fact, it's the worst he's seen since starting supporting Everton way back in 1962 as a 7-year-old. As the ball's played in there towards John Barnes, looking to cause misery on Everton again. He did so much damage to them as a Liverpool player, looking to inflict the same damage now. And Hutchinson having to get back there and rescue the situation for Everton. Newcastle trying to start the second half as they did the first, right on the front foot, putting Everton back at every conceivable opportunity. The game on Wednesday was an end-to-end fest. I can't really say too much the same about this one, as Newcastle going for that second goal. Everton, of course, beat Newcastle in '95 in the quarter-finals on the way to the winning the FA Cup under Joe Royle. That's the cross, and that's an easy one for Paul Gerrard to take with no real great hesitancy. Paul Gerrard in his early career when he was at Oldham said there was a lot of talk about him being a future England #1. He saw some terrific form there for Everton in that first half, and if it wasn't for his saves, Newcastle would have took the foot off the accelerator at this point. They'd have been 2 or 3 up by a half time, and that would have been really difficult. Here's Gary Speed now looking to inject some pace in on Everton's side. Speed looking to get the return from Barmby. Comes to Madar, number 7. It's a nice ball by Madar over to the far side, and Foster's there, Barmby's there too. This is better from Everton. Duncan Ferguson now, and Barmby's in there. He's got Ferguson in the middle. No, John Oxter, can he get the cross in there? Ferguson up there, and away by Barton. Better from Everton. They've had a good 5 minutes there, Howard Kendall's side. But here come Newcastle looking for this second goal. With Tamori Kexpire now, just taking a deeper well. Gets it long ball forward, but well cut out. Now Terry Phelan. Don Hutchinson. Gets it up towards big Duncan Ferguson. Under the way now. And David Batty. Always a terrier, that He's a Yorkshireman, played for Kenny Dalglish before at Blackburn Rovers, of course. Here's Keith Gillespie. Now Gillespie, and this looks ominous now for Everton. Oh, what a challenge that was from Craig Short. And the Everton fans responding as a man to that, as one to that. That's what a commitment, this is what a committed Everton player does. But wait a moment. Newcastle crossing that ball in, and it comes to Pearce. And it will be a throw this time for Everton, to the best belief for those. And here's another product of the Youth Academy. Off comes Big Duncan, comes John Oster, already on a yellow card. So one Academy player being replaced by another, young Danny Canamartri. A Yorkshireman by birth, but he's been brought up with the youth system here at Goodison Park. He's been let loose now. He's got plenty of pace, he's got talent, and he's got a fearless ability. But we'll see now as he will take on the likes of Stuart Pearce and big Steve Howie. See how he goes against those two competitors. Here is Stuart Pearce. Here's Robert Lee. 63 minutes gone. Everton still in this cup tie at 1-0. One opportunity they have. Canamartri will now join Duncan Ferguson up front. Here's Gary Speed. Mickey Barmby. Canamartri, first touch now. A real opportunity to show what this kid can do. His cross was charged down, but he'll get a second chance now thanks to Craig Short's intelligence short ball. Into Barmby. Good football this from Everton. Better from them. Barmby going to make half a yard for the shot. He goes down. The referee doesn't want to know. Here's Thomason now at the other end for Newcastle, as they look to get this second killer goal. Canamartri does well. He's got pace to burn, this kid. And already in the 5 minutes we've seen him on the field, he looks very, very impressive. 67 minutes gone here at Goodison Park in his third round FA Cup game, sponsored by Liverpool Spools. If Everton were to get a goal in that remaining 23 minutes, and it was to end a draw, then the teams would reconvene at St James's Park in 10 days' time, a week on Wednesday. Here's Ferguson now for Everton. They're looking more out for Fritz. Oh, lovely challenge by Steve Howie, and it needed to be, because if he'd have just taken it into the man before the ball, then Mr Bodnam would have had no hesitation in blowing up for a penalty. As it is at the other end, it's John Barnes and Dave Watson. The wily old competitor got back there and he saved his side from even further damage. Now at the other end, this is more like a cup tie now. Ferguson trying to get in there. He's been beaten in it. Now beaten to it rather. And now John Barnes. Now Thomason shot. Oh, that could have been the killer one with 20 minutes to go. But the first 20 minutes in the second half, it's felt like a proper end-to-end FA Cup tie this. And Thomason almost making it maybe a little bit more safer for Newcastle. They still will go up, but it's an edgier lead now than what it was in the first half. If you joined us late, it was Thomason with a header that put Newcastle ahead. And then Barmby hit the crossbar at the Garden Street in the first half, but Everton have made a game of it without really troubling Shane Given too much, but at least it's been a better quality cup tie. Here's Keith Gillespie. Nothing bad quality about Newcastle's play today, but it's been better quality from Everton going forward. Now Duncan Ferguson. Just need that one opportunity, Everton, if they can just take it. Oh dear me, that's a bad mistake, and Thomason could be in for something there, but ball casually knocked back to Gerrard. And now Howie. Gillespie. Good challenge by Craig Short. Won it terrifically well. This is what the Everton fans wanted to see more in the first half. Quarter of an hour just over to go. Everton still in this tie. They can't afford to concede another one. They might do now. It's John Barnes. There it is. 2-0. And surely Newcastle have going into the heart for the fourth round of the FA Cup. John Barnes inflicts more misery on Everton again, like he used to do in the red of Liverpool. One ball over the top, and the Everton defence scored squared. And Gerrard, who's made some miracle saves to keep Everton in the FA Cup, well, there was nothing he could do about this one. Incisive from Newcastle. This is what they're all about. And John Barnes, as he's done so often in Liverpool colours, and Watford too, making it absolutely sure. Quarter of an hour to play. John Barnes inflicting more misery on Everton. And Shaw now is asking a lot in a quarter of an hour for Howard Kendall to find, for Howard Kendall's side to find 2 goals. And Everton's miserable season continues. Bottom of the Premiership and look like tumbling out of the FA Cup at the first hurdle at home. I can understand a lot of anger here on Merseyside, on the blue half of Merseyside. It's not been good enough, and I know Howard Kendall's a legend, but I mean he's had some great moments, Howard Kendall, in the past, but this team is not a patch on the CV. He won all those trophies between 84 and 87, is it? Watson is hurting, I can tell you. Here is now Big Dave Watson. How must he be feeling? An Evertonian through and through. Gives it all, gives 100% in that blue shirt every game. Unfortunately, some of his colleagues just haven't given the same percent that he would give in any game. Here's Von Barton. And Newcastle now with that 2-goal lead will be content, I think. Kenny Dalglish will be content now if he just defend stoutly and not give anything away. It'll be a nice easy cup tie victory for them. We know Shearer's are coming back into the ranks as well, and the good cup run will be very good for Newcastle as well. Remember, no major domestic trophy since 1955 when Jackie Milburn won the FA Cup with them. War Jackie, who was the darling of the tune then, the going of the Gargate. But with Alan Shearer to come now, I'll tell you what, a win back against Newcastle reaching a final. If they have a good second half of the season, the form has picked up really well. They're probably looking in periods today, looking like the team of last season. The ball played in there, headed away by Watson. Only half cleared. Lee again. Now Thomason in the area, and he goes down. It's a penalty. Referee Bodnam had no doubts. Bilic is furious, the Croat. He thinks that the Newcastle player made a bit of a meal of it, but Martin Bodnam from Cornwall says that's a penalty. Let's see. Well, I think Bilic has a point there. Thomason went down rather easily, and the penalty is given, and Rob Lee has a chance now to put Everton through, put Everton's misery complete, and it's 3-0 now. And Everton's miseries weren't really complete now. Disputed penalty, yes. But was the penalty itself in any doubt? You bet your life it wasn't. And spare a fault there for poor Dave Watson. He's upset. He's close to tears there in the pouring rain here. And if it doesn't rain at Goodison Park, it pours bucket loads. I mean, Bilic there, I mean, he's hardly touched him. That's scandalous from the referee. But what's not scandalous is the penalty dispatched by Robert Lee. It's a beautiful penalty dispatched with the minimum of fuss. The coolest man in the house, and with 5 minutes to go, Newcastle are safely through to round 4 of the FA Cup, sponsored by Woolworths. But what a shame, they've got to go for a very dubious decision, and I feel for Slaven Bilic, I feel for Dave Watson, I feel for Howard Kendall in a way. None of this mess really is down to him. And now it could get even worse because John Barnes is on his way. Barnes is there, but Big Dave Watson says, you're not getting past me. You might win the game today, mate, but you're not getting past me on that occasion. Here's Gillespie. Everton look a beaten side now. There's no doubt about that. That's another foul, and that's just on the edge, but it is a free kick. And Nicky Barmby and Everton just losing their heads. Barmby, I think, has been booked. Craig Short's having a few words to say. I think it might be Short who's being booked, you know. It looks a harsh decision. It looks a harsh decision against Craig Short. They haven't had the green with the referee today. That has to be said. But what you can't deny is Newcastle have been the better side over the period. And Tino Aspelia, there's talk about him leaving incidentally, especially with Shearer there. He's on now for the duration, which is 3 minutes to go. Here's Gillespie, could settle it now, and it's 4. And Everton's misery is complete, and Goodison Park is now of a mass exodus, apart from 2,500 travelling Toon Army, who are situated on the corner of the Bowens Road absolutely overjoyed. This is a terrific Newcastle display, but half of the Everton ground is emptying, I can tell you. Disgruntled Everton supporters as we see again that goal. This is just superb, and you feel sympathy really for Paul Gerrard as Keith Gillespie completes the route for Newcastle with 2 minutes of the game to go. Goodison Park is not a nice place to be right now. And, well, you feel for people like Dave Watson, you feel for legends like Howard Kendall, you feel for the young lads, Oster and Cadamarteri as well. Madar trying to give some respectability here to Everton. Barnby, now then, big Duncan Ferguson. Oh, that's the only chance he's had today, big Duncan Ferguson. He's a man that bleeds Everton through and through, an FA Cup winner himself in '95. How must he be feeling as well? Shay Gibbon with a good save there. But Everton, bottom of the Premiership, are looking increasingly like they're going to exit the FA Cup at the first round, at the third round stage, at the first hurdle. It's Speed's corner. Madar is up there, and away by Batty. Into touch. We're now into the final minute of the game. The Everton fans are leaving in their droves, furious at what they've seen again today, and it's been a constant theme throughout the season. The Everton side, who on paper have so much promise and could be a top 10 side if they got the right blend together, just look devoid of any luck, confidence or any ideas. Here's Cadamarteri to Nicky Barmby, and now it's all about trying to stay in the Premiership for Everton, but they're going to have to do it the hard way, I think, in the second half of the season. That's all they've got left now. But for Newcastle, as we play 2 minutes of stoppage time, their Wembley dreams will go on. They're in the hat for the fourth round as the whistle is gone, and there's boos all around Goodison Park. Everton just not good enough on the day, but Newcastle just over-pulverised them from the word go. Thomason got the scoring off to the play, and then it was John Barnes who carried it on in the second half. Put it out on the left, but he got the second. Then Robert Lee on 85, making it free from a disputed penalty. And then right at the end, Keith Gillespie, with a minute to go, sealing Everton's fate for this season's FA Cup. A really disappointing day for Everton, but a great one for Newcastle. They've beaten Everton here in the third round FA Cup by 4 goals to 0. We'll be back with analysis right after the break.
Well, full time, it's an absolutely phenomenal performance by Newcastle United, who have won here this afternoon, 4 goals to 0. Trevor, you were watching this game. I've got to come to you first. What did you make of that game? What did you think of it? Because Newcastle United were electric in the second half. Yeah, they were. They were brilliant in the second half. I think one of the things that you need to say in this game, though, is belief is such a clinical factor, and I kind of think Everton were pressing and pressing and pressing. Weren't really creating quality chances, but were getting moments. And when that second goal went in, I saw 6 or 7 heads drop. It was just shocking to see, and they've been blown away, really, I think, after that. And I think that was one of the factors that was very sad to see, really. Well, let's take you through the highlights if you missed them at the moment in the second half. And what about the goal in the end? Well, what I love about this is Barnes' first touch. His second is just so calm and controlled, right past the goalkeeper. And any doubts on the penalty? No, it was absolutely plumb, and so was the spot kick. I think Rob Lee here, I don't think he'll hit a better penalty than that. Yeah, absolutely rifled that. No chance, Gerrard. And the frustrations were setting in with Everton. Shorts their yellow card, and then this moment which led to another goal. Yeah, well, the problem you have on the free kick is when it plays back to Keith Gillespie, who actually had a very good game. All he's got to do is take a swing in it and just get it going from the yards, and he's got a chance. It's not to say Everton didn't have their chances, they just couldn't take them, could they? No, and I think that sums up. They've got Big Duncan all the way through, and Given makes a fantastic save to deny him. And there were chances for Everton, but they just were unable really to sort of capitalise on them, just where the match was going, really. it was a shame to see the way in which they set up the match, to see sort of how they capitulated. But I suppose that's football, really. They're bottom of the Premiership, out of the Cup, and yeah, they've got to hope that they're not in the First Division. Well, a couple of results to bring you, to let you know. Chelsea have lost at home 5-3 to Manchester United. What an amazing game that was. And Wimbledon and Wrexham have drawn 0-0. That will go to a replay. And in the fourth round draw, we'll let you know that'll be made tomorrow. In terms of us here, our next FA Cup live football, Manchester City will host West Ham United. You can see that with us. Hammers, of course, going very well. And it could be a really, really top-class game. In terms of next live football, also look forward to, we've got this Coca-Cola semi-final second leg, Middlesbrough against Liverpool. That is also to come in the future. Plus as well, the Champions League will be returning in 6 weeks' time, so football is back galore here on ITV. Well, at the end of the day, the result was one which certainly Everton fans will be looking to forget. For Newcastle United fans, they've got a lot to look forward to. Not only is Alan Shearer due to come back soon, they're in the fourth round of the Cup very convincingly. From Trevor and myself and everyone here, thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching here this match on Trevor Sports. If you've liked it, please don't be afraid to like, share and subscribe to the channel. And if you do fancy it, head on over to the Ko-fi. The link is in the description. Buy me a coffee for all the hard work. Further than that, make sure you enjoy more games coming up.